If your makeup never looked like skin, no matter what products you try, this is probably why. Because most people don't actually have a product problem, they have a layering problem. And until you fix that, your makeup is always going to sit on top of your skin instead of blending into it. The frustrating part is a lot of people think they're doing something wrong. Like maybe they're bad at makeup, or maybe they just haven't found the right products yet. But honestly, I think most people are just overwhelmed because everywhere you look, you're being told you need more coverage, more products, more steps. And eventually it starts feeling like your makeup routine is becoming more and more complicated instead of better. And I keep noticing the same things over and over again. Makeup that looked too heavy, too matte, too dry, or like it was sitting on top of the skin instead of blending into it. And the thing is, a lot of those people were using good products. That's what really changed my perspective, because the problem usually wasn't one product, it was too many layers, too much powder, too many things competing with one another. And once makeup starts building up like that, you lose that natural skin-like finish. Everything starts looking flat instead of dimensional. And I've been there too, trying different products, trying different routines, thinking maybe I just need more or one more thing to make it work. But what I eventually realized was I didn't need more makeup. I needed a better approach. And once I started paying more attention, I realized the real problem usually isn't the makeup itself, it's the layering, because most people are layering products that were never meant to work together in the first place. Too much powder on top of too much coverage, heavy products layered over other heavy products, too many textures competing with one another, and eventually your makeup starts looking like your skin and it stops blending into your skin and it starts sitting on top of it. And that's when makeup starts looking flat, cakey, patchy, or heavy as the day goes on. Not because your skin is bad, not because the products are terrible, but because there's just too much happening at once. And I think a lot of people don't realize how little product you actually need to create a beautiful finish, especially when the products are working with each other instead of fighting each other. Because makeup should create dimension, and it should never let your skin not look like skin. It should let your skin still look like skin, but once everything gets overlayered, you lose that softness, you lose that natural glow. And honestly, I think that's why so many people feel frustrated with makeup now, not because they're bad at it, but because they've been taught that more product equals a better result. And most of the time, it's actually the opposite. And that's when you lose that natural skin-like finish. And once I understood that, everything about the way I approached makeup started to change, because instead of asking, what else do I need to add? I started asking, what can I take away? And honestly, that shift changed everything. I stopped layering so many products. I stopped trying to completely cover my skin. And I stopped thinking that more makeup automatically meant a better result. Instead, I started focusing on lighter layers, better placement, and products that actually worked well together. And the difference was immediate. My makeup started looking softer, more natural, more dimensional, and most importantly, it started looking more like skin. Not perfect skin, not filtered skin, just healthier, smoother, more natural skin. And the interesting part is the less product I use, the better everything actually looked. Because once your makeup stops competing with itself, your skin can finally come through again. And I think that's the part a lot of people are missing. Glow doesn't come from piling more product on your face. It comes from balance. It comes from knowing when to stop. And once I started approaching makeup that way, everything became easier. And honestly, that shift is a huge part of what led me to create Founder Glow Essentials in the first place. Because once I stopped chasing more, I realized most people don't actually need a huge makeup collection. They need a routine that works together, a routine that feels simple, intentional, and realistic for everyday life. And that's really how I started thinking about every product, not how many products can I add, but what actually improves the results. Because if something doesn't help the routine feel easier, lighter, and more natural, then honestly, it probably doesn't belong there. I think that changed the way I look at beauty now. I'm not interested in building routines that take 20 steps or products that only look good under perfect lighting. I care more about how makeup feels on the skin, how it wears throughout the day, and whether it actually helps someone feel more confident when they look in the mirror. That's why Founder Glow Essentials was designed the way it was. Everything works together intentionally. The textures make sense together, the layering makes sense together, the finish makes sense together. So instead of feeling like you're constantly trying to figure makeup out, the routine just flows. I think people are craving that simplicity now more than ever. If your makeup hasn't been looking the way you want it to, there's a good chance it's not because you need more makeup. It might just be that your routine is working against you instead of with you. Because once I stopped trying to cover everything, layering everything, and perfect everything, my makeup actually started looking better, softer, lighter, more natural. And I think a lot of people are craving that right now. Not more products, not more steps, not more pressure to get everything perfect. Just something that feels easier, something that feels more like them. And honestly, that's the direction I'm continuing to move in with everything I'm building. Simpler routines, more intentional products, better results without all the extra. So if you've been struggling with your makeup lately, maybe the answer isn't adding more, maybe it's simplifying what's already there. And if you want to keep seeing how I approach that and how I'm building this brand around it, you can follow along here.